Welcome everybody to Time to Thrive, July the 17th, 2025. And welcome, Kat, our newest member to the Content to Cash community. So welcome, Miss Kat.
Hello.
And you'll have a chance to just do a little blurb about who you are and what you do and that type of thing. Your myriad of awesome entrepreneurial stuff. Just so we're clear, Kat Barber is an award-winning entrepreneur up in Fort McMurray, everybody. Award-winning. So congrats, Kat, on the awards that your awesome
Yeah.
doggy business does. So just think about that. Like, look at the people that I'm attracting here. I can't seem to find a dude client to save my life. I don't know what's going on. It's like I show up and they're all like the little crabs on the beach. They just hide under the rocks. I'm like, hey, dude, it's a dude. Would you like to buy? No, we're out of here. Anyway, um, but the other funny part to that is that three people in here are all in the pet business. What's going down there? What's going on there? Anyway, obviously, I just, attract furry things in my life. That's what we can attest this to. Yeah. All right, everybody. So welcome to Time to Thrive. We're gonna have a ton of fun today. Um, this is, and Darinka has heard this before. Maybe other people have. Today's education portion is going to talk about one of the single most, if not the single most important thing to do to improve your marketing. Okay. Beyond the word consistency, which is the most important thing to do in your marketing, right, Miss Darinka, as she has discovered. Okay. Consistency may be the most important thing. This particular topic that we're going to cover in the last 25, 30 minutes today is Gigi. It's not Gigi. That's not what we're going to cover. The most important topic that we are going to cover is storytelling. And we're going to dive a little bit more in how to do it, what exact stories you should tell, and those 5 universal story arcs that everybody wants you to tell a story within that framework. And when you do, they understand it. And understanding is an important element to that 5 letter word that is the key reason we do marketing, which is trust. Okay. If people don't understand why Michelle is offering what she's offering, they won't trust her right away. And if Michelle starts telling a story and we don't know why she's telling it or what the concept of the story is to start with, we won't trust her right away. Does this make sense, everyone? The people whose stories we love to hear are the ones that we understand where we're going with the story. We don't know how we get there. We don't know the exact steps taken, right? You watch the great Tom Cruise, love him or hate him, in his Mission Impossible movies. You know he's making it to the end. Except maybe in this last one. It is the last one. We're not sure about the last one. But you know he's making it. We just don't know how he's making it. You know what I mean? We all know that he conquers the villain, he achieves the quest, he does whatever he's doing. We're just not sure how. So, using these classic 5 story arcs and framing the way you communicate with these story arcs is hugely valuable for how we want to set up our marketing. So, does that make sense to everybody? All right, cool. But before we get there, of course we got to do our thing. So let me share my screen here, everybody. And Kat, we have some fun little ritual processes that we go through here to get rocking and rolling in Time to Thrive. So you're
Okay.
gonna bear witness to this firsthand. So can everybody see my beautiful Porsche screen here in the background? Show a thumbs up. Yeah, we got it. Okay,
Okay.
cool. All right. So from the beginning, not in the beginning, but from the beginning. Here we go. So, welcome everybody to Time to Thrive. And let's do our thing. We'll cover today's agenda. So, first off, we're going to get things rock and rolling. We're going to focus our checkpoints and check ins process. We'll do our round table and hot seat coaching, and then we'll dive into our level up lessons. So, overall, this whole process will take us another hour and 20 minutes or so, and we're going to have a blast. So, by a show of thumbs up, everybody rock and roll? Yeah. All right, cool. So let's go. I like to set the stage with our brains properly. So, Kat, you don't know this, but I get you to join us in a serenade here, or at least in everybody saying this at the exact same time. It never works very well. It sounds really terrible, but it's beautiful, so no matter what we do. So, everybody ready? Have my little sip of coffee here. So I shall start us off. We'll read this together in 3, 2, 1. My mind, the garden,
My
my
thoughts
thoughts are the
are the
seeds,
seeds,
and
and
I can
I
grow
can grow
flowers or
flowers
I can grow
or grow
weeds.
weeds.
Love it. And so, just quickly, I want to touch from this particular concept, I want to touch on the idea of choice. Okay. When they polled about 1,300 entrepreneurs, very few of them said that money was the reason they decided to go into business. In fact, it was less than 6% said money. Overwhelmingly, nearly 70% of them all said the same thing. And do we all know what that thing was? Any ideas? Gigi, you want to say something? Yeah.
To serve, to
No,
help others.
no.
Okay.
That was higher than money, though, which is cool. Yeah, that was in
Freedom.
the teens.
Oh, the flexibility, the creating my
Freedom,
own wealth, like freedom. Yeah.
freedom. They wanted freedom. And predominantly what that means is they want choice. They don't want anybody telling them what to do. That was the major reason, right? People go out and put all this stuff at risk. They put their ass on the line. They do all these things. Why? Because they want to control their own destiny. And so my mind is a garden, my thoughts are the seeds, and I can grow flowers or I can grow reeds. To me, one of the frameworks of this, and there's so many beautiful ways this can be interpreted, but to me, it's about choice. I love the fact that all of you chose to be here this morning. You didn't have to be. I asked you to be. You kind of all make a commitment to be, but honoring that commitment is a choice, right? And when you can grow flowers or you can grow weeds, that is a decision that you make, right? And I love the fact that you've all made that decision, but today you're going to make a whole bunch more. And so I just want you to remember that what you're deciding to plant is what will grow. And when you see those weeds come out, deciding to pluck the weeds instead of letting them grow is going to be a big difference maker in your life. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So, what I want to do now is I want you guys to take a bit of a think over the last few weeks. Okay, like we normally do at this stage, take 60 seconds, grab your pens. Is there a weed that has grown in your mind and is getting in your way right now of your success, of achieving what you want to achieve? And if you can think of a weed, please write it down because we'll get to those in our roundtable coaching session later. So take 60 seconds. Is there a weed that's grabbing you by the ankles? It's reaching up, snagging you by the wrist. And just give me a thumbs up when you've got your weed. That sounds so bad. That's not what I meant. Not what I meant. Okay, Kat, you got yours? All right. Darinka? Yeah, she's like, yeah, I do. I have one. Okay. Bente, do you have a weed at all that came up? Just give me a thumbs up if you do. It's great. Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's move forward to our checkpoints and check-in section. So keep that weed in the background. All right, because we will get to it. That thing that's been holding you back. So the checkpoints and check-ins document. This is the accountability stage of the Time to Thrive coaching process here. Sorry, stuff in my throat. Okay. So this here is a document. Kat, you haven't seen this before. So this here is a document that chronicles the last 2 weeks. And as I said, I normally go from Sunday to Monday. So the start date would be whatever, like July the 1st kind of thing until July 14th or something like that. So the last couple of weeks, right? Monday to Sundays or Sunday to Mondays. Sunday to Saturdays. There we go. Um, So what we do is on a bi-weekly basis, we chronicle our progress. Okay, I did a whole training on this. Michelle, did you happen to watch the training that I did on this yet? Because a couple weeks ago you wanted that, and I put it together and put it in the back office. Did you watch that training yet?
I watched the first one that you did.
Okay, and that went over this document, right?
And yeah, it did.
Oh, perfect. And then it talked about how to go into your Facebook Meta and
Yes.
then find the insights where you grab all this information, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome sauce. Okay. So just very quickly, the idea, Kat, is that we put down what revenue goal you want to hit in that 2 week period. It's not a monthly thing, it's those 2 weeks. Okay. So it could be $3,000, could be $5,000, could be $10,000. We've got some people that want it to be $15,000 or $20,000, right? Whatever it happens to be, doesn't matter. It's your business. And then that's the revenue goal. In the revenue hit section, that's how much we actually did. So we're chronicling where we want to get to, chronicling what we actually did. Sales goals is how many sales you made, not revenue wise, but the number of sales. Could be 13, could be 25, whatever that is, could be 50, right? So, for example, just about Pets' sales goal for a 2 week period is 820, right? So, just about Pets wants to do 820 sales every 2 weeks. That's its revenue objective, okay? And how many sales did you actually make, and what was the average value of those sales? These are all metrics that we use to measure the growth of our business. By a show of thumbs up, does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Okay. And these are the things that we want to make sure we are holding ourselves and each other accountable to hitting because we're here to support one another achieve our business goals. Are we all on board with that? Okay.
Mhm.
You're now part of this community that wants to help you succeed. But part of that success is being open and vulnerable to going, this is what I wanted to do. Then we crushed it. Amazing. This is what I wanted to do, and we missed it. How do we get better? Okay, so that's what this document is for. And then because this is a content to cash program, we measure Facebook and Instagram KPIs, your reach, your engagement, and your new follows. All right. And as I tell everybody, revenue, sales, so this box right here is your lagging indicator of progress, everybody. Meaning it's your historical last 2 weeks of data as to what happened, right? Your Facebook and Instagram KPIs, aka your marketing metrics, are the leading indicator of what's about to happen. Okay. And I always say this bookkeeping and accounting is a lagging concept. It tells you what has happened. Your marketing and sales department is what's about to happen. And they both need to be working together in order to achieve what you want. By a show of
Uh-huh.
thumbs up, does that make sense? Okay, cool. So if you have this document printed, ready to go, excellent. Please go fill it out. If you don't have it yet, in your notes, fill out some of the sections that you do have some instinct for. Like, what would you love your revenue goals to be? So, Kat, you haven't done this before, so maybe write down some ideas as to what you'd love to hit there. Your Facebook and Instagram KPIs, right? What would you love to be hitting in those areas? And then ultimately, what was a win over the last couple of weeks, and what is a challenge that you've run into over the last couple of weeks? So I'll give everybody a couple minutes just to write down some of the ideas here that they have for themselves or fill out the paperwork if you haven't already done so. But this is where the rubber meets the road. Without these numbers as an indicating roadmap, signposts of progress, it's hard to measure whether or not your business is growing if you don't just naturally see lots more revenue in your bank account. It's funny, I had a client many years ago, you guys, when I was doing a lot more like I just have a couple clients and I charge a higher marketing or a higher fee for what I call fractional CMO work. And she had no idea whether she was ever making any money in any given month. So as you guys are writing down your numbers and thinking about these things, I'll just tell this quick story. She would only gauge whether she was making more money that if at the end of the month, this month, she had more money than she did at the end of the month last month. That was her only way. The ironic part is when we dug into her business, It was, I'll just say, drowning and dying. She just didn't know it yet because she was basing her progress on her happenstance cash flow versus what was actually happening in the numbers of her business. Right. And when we decided to unpack all those numbers, she obviously got quite the scare. But when we rejigged things and we put in the right metrics, everyone, and we started to, actually do and make the business more profitable, then suddenly things started to turn around. And she would have a month where she had less money, but she realized that what she had done was she actually made profit and was getting somewhere. She just had some bills that came in, right? Some of those bills are quarterly and that compromised cash flow, but she was actually making more profit within about 4 months of starting our process. And then within about a year, she was soaring. And yeah, and then our contract ended, and she was like, okay, this is great. I have everything I need. I'm super happy. But it was understanding the KPIs that made the difference.
Tell about the KPI.
So a KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, Bente. It's essentially a number that is indicating whether you're going to achieve the goal that you're looking for or whether you're not going to achieve the goal you're looking for. Right? So if your goal is to do $200,000 in revenue per month, okay, your Facebook and Instagram KPIs would be indicating whether you're getting enough activity on your social media accounts that that number is going to happen. Whether it's happened or not yet, we don't know, but that number is going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are important elements when you want to build a business, okay? These are important elements to understand how to navigate through what you're wanting to build.
I'll understand on the way. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does everybody
Thank
have
you.
their numbers or at least the idea of what they want their numbers to be? Okay, cool. So let's go back. Go back. Okay, so let's find out from you guys here who was able to hit their revenue goal by just raising your hand here. Who was able to hit your revenue goal over the last 2 weeks? Oh, nobody hit their revenue goal the last 2 weeks. Okay, that's all right. Okay. How about let's then go down to the leads goal. Was anybody able to hit how many leads they wanted to collect over the last 2 weeks? So these are people that have said, I'm interested, I just haven't bought yet. Okay, so no leads goal. Well, it's a good indicator as to where we are in our marketing progress, then, everybody, right? Gigi's like, don't look at me. Okay, so what about our Facebook and Instagram KPIs? So the amount of reach, engagement, and follows that we wanted to achieve. Did anybody reach their social media marketing KPIs that they were looking for?
My Instagram has gone up, so there's more activity there. So I'm happy with that so far.
Okay, awesome.
And I did actually have one lead. I just had to think about it. I need to follow up with her today. So,
Okay, how many leads do you want to collect over 2 weeks, though, Drinka? What's your goal?
oh, absolutely 4.
Okay, so only one, but
Yes.
your goal's for. Okay, good. We have to know where we're starting, right, everybody? We have to know where we're starting. Now, for Kat and Michelle, these numbers are about to get really bonkers, right? These are about to get really high. So we'll have to make sure, and I'm going to be a part of helping you set those goals and those objectives. Like Shanna's Facebook and Instagram KPIs before we started the Content to Cash program were in the hundreds, right? Now we have to put them into the tens of thousands as far as
Ooh,
what
I
she
hope
wants to
mine
do,
gets that big.
right?
I'm at 0 right now.
Yeah, so that's okay. But that's just indicative of what of what happens once you start activating the system, right? And then pushing the way we're going to push. Okay, cool. So what we want to make sure, you guys, is that we're making that progress. Want to make sure we're making that progress. So congrats to Drinka for hitting her, getting some Instagram traction. That's great. So Drinka, why do you think you didn't hit your revenue goal? Because you normally do. So what do you think happened?
I wish I had an answer. I'm not sure right now.
Okay.
Because definitely the previous 2 weeks, that's where I gauged my revenue goal,
Mm-hmm.
is that was over and above my revenue goal the previous 2 weeks, where it's, to me, it's considerably less the most recent 2 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So part of it might be that I screwed up with my canine order. That might be part of it. If I don't have it in the freezers, it's not going to move.
It's not going to sell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's fair. Okay. Got it. All right, everybody. So now let's make sure we write down, did everybody write down some wins and some challenges? Okay, perfect. So let's really quickly go around the table here. What was a win? So Bente, how about you start us off? What was a really big win for you over the last 2 weeks?
This morning, going talking to your helpers in Philippines.
Yeah, Shelly, she's awesome. Yeah.
Yes, and she. So now I am really coming into your place. Yes, and I'm so grateful.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Bente. Kat, what about you? What was a big win for the last couple weeks for you?
I said yes to you. I'm ready to blow up my social media. That's a win. I got I guess I could say I got one new affiliate on my business from the organic
Nice.
marketing that I've been doing on my Facebook
Okay, perfect.
the last couple months.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Kat. Gigi, how about yourself? Did Gigi get a haircut or is it just styled different?
No, it's just all like it's on
Gotcha.
top of my head. So my win is that I didn't die this last week,
Oh,
but I felt like I was dying because I had a medical thing that came up and it was pretty bad. It set me up for several days. So I missed the thing on your last thing, Michael. I apologize.
office hours. Yeah, that's okay.
But anyway, so I'm okay. I'm going to be better even in another couple days. And the win is that I'm still motivated
Mm-hmm.
and pretty confident, maybe overly confident, but pretty confident that I still am going to be able to hit my 100 by the end of
September.
September. Yes.
Love it. Okay. All right. Well, got to do the thing that we got to do, right? I certainly know what having, your butt kicked by medical stuff is all about. So I get it.
Yeah. But you know what? I looked at it like, hey, I got it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Very good. Okay. Ms. Moorhead, how about you? What was a big win for the last 2 weeks for you, young lady?
My wins have just been over the last couple days. I got an order, which I didn't even ask for, which was awesome.
Nice.
And I upgraded
There you go.
to your VIP thing there. So
That's right. That's right.
I
Everybody's
win.
feeling good and excited about upgrading to VIP. Love it. Perfect. Okay. And Dorinka, how about yourself?
I think my biggest win was when a customer came in the other day and she wanted something that I didn't have because of my script from a few weeks ago. But as I was struggling to figure out how to expand our shop, either by doubling the size or getting a seat count, and we did this last week, we talked to a lot of different people, even my neighbor who was willing to do the expansion. He came the next day and he says, I don't have time. I'm so sorry. I can't do it.
Mm,
Oh, but in the meantime, you keep saying it's knowing your math, do the numbers. And I thought, the amount of money it would cost me to pay back a loan
hmm
order weekly. Even if I have to pay that little bit more for shipping, I bet you it won't be the same as the loan. So that's, I think, my biggest win. And I said that to the customer. I said, I'm a dumbass. I'm just going to order weekly. And she said, that's brilliant. So,
I love it, Darinka. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
That's a big
But
lesson for each and every one of us, isn't it? Sometimes just because we get sort of blindfolded or blind, that's the wrong word. What do they call blinders on horses? Is that what they call them? We get sort of like really pointed at one particular solution to a problem. If we take those things off, suddenly we see a whole bunch more very logical options, right? So I know we've probably all heard the term success loves speed. I've always loved that term too. But for me, success loves speed once you have all the correct information. And so what I mean by that is that success loves the speed of decision once you've been able to assess whether that's the right decision or not. Then go after it with everything you got. Then go fast, go really, really quick. Then build momentum and crash through whatever you need to crash through, right? But you have to see the whole field. You have to see everything that's going on in order to make a really, really, really solid decision. Does that make sense, everybody?
Mhm.
And Kat did that yesterday, right? Kat and I had a conversation, and she was considering whether she goes access pass route with content to cash or VIP route with content to cash. And she was going to go access pass and then really, really deep down assessed where she was at with how much time and how much availability she had to do what she needed to do to make this whole process make sense. And she got back to me and said, no, I have to go with the VIP because the speed at which we can move that way is going to be way more effective for what we needed to do. Right? She had to see the whole picture, though. She had to see the whole picture and take a few minutes, take a half an hour, whatever that was, Kat, for you to assess what was going to happen when you look at the whole spectrum. Right?
Well, for me, it was a time management thing. I'm running two companies and I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom and
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out a whole new system and how to do this and how to do that. And I don't got time for that, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
And so looking at the money, if you guys are doing the stuff and I can get that much more traction on the business, it'll pay for itself eventually, hopefully sooner than later. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I just considered it an investment in the business. And I thought my husband was going to squash it. And he's like, meh, we've lost money in other things. Give it a whirl. And I was like, okay.
Well, we're not going in with that mindset. We're making money with this. We're making money.
No. But it's an investment in the business. So
Totally. Love it. It's fun. And Shanna echoed that same thing on Monday, right? And here's the hilarious part is since Monday, you guys, Shanna's not here today. She has to film videos because she's like, I need to get more videos out there. Because this week, I think she's had 3 or 4 new client inquiries, right? For her large programs, right? She's not selling $10 items. These are hundreds or over $1,000 to buy. So she's had 3 or 4 new inquiries on her Facebook page, and we haven't even done any conversion content for her, right? This is all just her posting rhythmically all the time. And the great part is they're coming from the boosted posts. Okay. They're not coming from just her posting and then letting the organic engine get her a new client. Right? They're coming from a brand new person who doesn't know her company that sees a boosted post in their social media feed, Instagram or Facebook, and then going to her page and seeing a whole bunch more of these videos and interacting with her brand and her messaging for 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, then reaching out. But the initial attention grabber, when we grabbed her that woman's eyeballs and brought them to the Facebook or the Instagram page, was because we paid for it. I want to let that sink into everybody. Not a lot. $5 a day, $7 a day, whatever I'm doing there right now. I can't remember which number it is, but it's 5 or 7. And we got that person's attention because we paid for it. We nurtured the attention. We built the brand. We created the trust because of the content that's on her page right now. So all the stuff that we're doing organically, right? But the initial attraction was because we paid for it. Right? I just want that whole framework to sink in. New person who doesn't know her saw her stuff from a paid sponsored value content piece, went from the value content piece to her Facebook page, interacted with her brand, watched more videos, then decided to reach out. And Shannon didn't solicit this. This person, these people, the 3 or 4 of them, all reached out themselves. Any questions about that, you guys?
Wonderful story.
Yeah, right. And I just want you to remember. So even Drinka, I know we're not running your stuff. You're using it yourself. But remember, when you want to get some attention, when you've got a good value piece of content, don't be afraid to go, I'm going to boost this for $5 a day for 10 days. Right? And that gets some new eyeballs. You want to make sure you hit those Facebook and Instagram KPIs and get those new leads. Sometimes it's going to require that little bit of boosted investment to make sure you get the right people. You've got tons of content on your page right now, Darinka, to nurture them, to help them buy into what you're doing. I love your page. Kat and I were looking at it yesterday, right? But to get a new person to go and take a look at it, and to get a steady stream of new people going to take a look at it, we often have to take a good piece of content and boost it so that new eyeballs are coming to us.
When you boost those ads and someone new sees it, does it say sponsored at the top, or is
It
it just...
does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yep. Yep. It says sponsored. But the thing is it's not an ad, right? It says sponsored, but one
Yeah.
of the keys, Kat, is that that writing across the bottom, because most people are watching their feeds on silent. That writing across the bottom
Is key.
starts a story that, Shanna's using right now. We'll just use her as the example. That starts this story, and then somebody wants to watch.
Yeah,
Right.
I never watch videos with sound, so I ain't got time for that.
Case in point, right?
Those are good, the
If
letters on the
That's
bottom.
right. So if the writing across the bottom winds up grabbing Kat's attention, then maybe she'll, sit longer on the potty and watch. But the fact is, I'm just saying, this is what my kids do. Well, anyway, but the fact is that we want to grab someone's attention. Often that writing across the bottom will do it, right? So these are just those important little nuances to how it works. But it has to be, it's as you've heard me say before, everybody, marketing is an entire environment. It's a habitat. Somebody brand new jumps into your pond of brand recognition and marketing, aka your social media profile. If the only thing that's there is your sponsored post, well, then they're not going to stay. They don't trust you. Right? In Drinka's case, in Shanna's case, in people that are building their social media brand for a while's case, Michelle's got tons of good stuff on her Facebook page. You go there and you go, oh, I get to know this person. Now I see who they are. Right? What they're all about. Very important. Okay. That's why we do these posts 3 times a week. We post those videos. So you're building this library of people getting to know you and what you're all about. And then when we get some new eyeballs, they'll go to that page. So great stuff, everyone. Okay. So thank you for sharing all your wins, everybody. Absolutely love them. So let's now dive into the next stage, which is our roundtable coaching. So you've got challenges in front of you, and you've got your weed that's been holding you back. So please pick one of those things that you would like to throw down on the table and discuss during our roundtable. And so, Kat, to give you an idea, the process goes like this. You take 30, 45 seconds, you state your challenge, or you talk about the weed that's been holding you back. Whichever one you want to choose, okay? You've got 2 different options of things that we can talk about. Then what happens is you state it succinctly, and then as my good friend and mentor Colin Sprake would say, you zipit.com. And we as a group start to give you some ideas as to how to overcome that challenge. Your job here, everybody, is not to argue. It's not to debate, right? We may ask you some clarifying questions about the challenge, but ultimately your job is to take down a bunch of ideas. From this type of process, you guys, I wound up coming up with marketing ideas and ways to evolve my businesses that have made me, no word of a lie, over millions of dollars in my companies. right? There is absolute gold inside the brains of all these people sitting here. Sometimes it's the combination, Kat, of Gigi's idea and Michelle's idea that is subtly brilliant way to solve a problem. But regardless, your role is to state the challenge, clarify the challenge, and then take down the ideas. And at the end of the process, right, you don't have to tell us, but at the end of the process, each and every one of you should be picking one or two of these solutions that you can blend together or work with to do your best at getting rid of that challenge or that weed. By a show of thumbs up, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, cool. All right. So let's start out with Miss Gigi. Gigi, what's going on with you and a challenge or weed that we can help tackle?
Okay, so I think my challenge would be like I don't know how to move forward. Like because I'm as I had said before, I'm looking at trying to or I'm looking at putting myself out there, talking to people, inviting them in, and I guess now he took it to another level by saying that the 100 people sign up for a masterclass. So my challenge is learning to do a landing page. And if I have a landing page, is it possible to is the landing page to sign up, say, for like the group that I'm creating and then have the master classes within the group, like offered within the group? Or is it a landing page to go to a master class? This is my weed too, Michael, is that I don't know how to expand. It feels like I've had my safe little bubble and I don't have any idea how to move past that. Okay, so now I'm going to shut up. If you have any questions, let me know. But I think.
Okay. So why don't we start, everybody? Does anybody have any questions they need to have or clarify, or do they just have some ideas for Gigi?
Can you clarify that? So you're looking for people to go to your landing page to create a landing page to. I don't know anyone's businesses, so I'm trying to
Yes,
figure.
that's true. So we
Kat,
should do
oh
that.
yeah, go ahead, Michael.
We should do that on Kat's behalf. Is please just give like a 15-second explanation of what it is you do.
Okay, so I work with people on overcoming trauma and also creating the lives that they deserve. So my challenge for myself was to create speaking my business and meet or impact the lives of 100 people over the summer. The next 2 months, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Gigi basically does online personal coaching, Kat, specializing in overcoming trauma.
Okay. That helps a lot.
So yeah, of course. Makes perfect sense. Sorry.
Right.
I just assume you know everybody, Kat. That's all.
Yeah, and Kat, the thing is that I've been in this safe little bubble. I have my clients. I made enough money to just get by, but so now I'm gapping, the bridge, having that bridge between where I'm at now and expanding.
And how long have you been working with Michael on this?
Oh, I'm gonna say that I'm only gotten super serious here recently with Michael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's on me because I've been, there's certainty in my little bubble, and there's now it's time for growth. So that was my choice.
So a clarifying question from me, Gigi, would be, are you trying to figure out what the series of steps should be that a customer should take, like what the model of what they should do is, or are you trying to find out how the easiest way to make a landing page?
No, I'm looking for either like I guess the next steps in like in that vision. Like I have the vision of what I want. It's like how do I get there? And so my question is that if I do a landing page, uh is it just to my group and then within the group offer the master classes, or do I have a landing page for a master class or two and let them sign up from there? That's my question.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's kind of so what she's asking really everybody is a business model question, right? Like great question, by the way, Gigi. It's like, what should I guide my customer through steps wise? Like, what's the process that I should walk a prospect through? And I think I'll just tackle this really quick and then we can move on to the next person, Gigi, because I think that because everybody's only got 3 minutes. So we spent a little bit of extra time there at clarifying what it is you wanted. But here's what I would tell you. You always start in your particular case, right? When your business is at the stage that yours is at, always start with your core offer first.
Mhm.
Okay. No matter where any of you are at, you're all in an early enough stage of your whatever, like in Cat's pet business, it's quite mature, it's different. But for the most of us, for the most part, right, you're all starting in a spot where you want to make sure your core offer is working effectively. There's no point, and I have done this, and it's cost me tens of thousands of dollars in mistakes. There's no point in building a really good lead attraction funnel to an offer that you don't know works.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, Gigi?
Mhm.
Right? So really quickly here, okay, can everybody see my whiteboard? Can everybody see my
Yeah.
whiteboard here? Okay, perfect. So if this is your main offer, okay, so it's your master class, and this is where you're charging money, okay,
Mhm.
what you need to do, in my opinion, is do a landing page, okay, that
Mhm.
sells this masterclass, that shows this masterclass. And then let your content, okay, let your all these little videos that you're going to do, okay, let all this content that you're going to do feed this page. Let the content be the lead engine for you. Does this make sense, Gigi?
No. Let
So,
the content feed the page.
nope,
Like,
let the
oh, like
content.
you're saying the content that I put out is not within the page.
That's right.
It,
No,
it's all the content is going to lead to the page.
correct.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. So what a lot of people do, you'll see this, okay? They'll have their main offer, it's downstream. This is their main offer. And what happens is they've got a series of what I like to call CSTPs, complete solutions to tiny problems, or what we would call them lead magnets. Okay? So if you look at a mature coaching business, they probably have a series of lead magnets. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they're taking all the video work they're doing and they're throwing them at these lead magnets to attract a really inexpensive lead. Download my email templates, right? Download my, Bente's got a blueprint, right? Download these things. And then from there, they send them to what we would call more of a core offer. Does this make sense, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The biggest difference, Gigi, is they've probably had anywhere from 3 to 15 years of experience selling this offer. And so they know that the offer sells. And so what they're looking for is just a far bigger volume of people to grab their lead magnets. And they likely have email nurture sequences written out that last anywhere from 14 to, 150 days to nurture people to get to that lead magnet. So
Right.
they've had years of setting up this system. Whereas you don't have that right now. You will, but you don't have that right now. So you want to take all of your content and just throw it at your masterclass offer to make sure that those people are buying and that you're proving that your offer works. Michelle and Kat with their businesses are in the same boat, right? They're going to be building content and then basically saying, go buy this product rather than put a tripwire lead magnet in front of buying the product. A, because we don't have a lead magnet yet, right? Take time to build one. Then you got to build out the nurture sequence that comes after that process. Just takes longer. And we don't know what's going to work. Does
Okay.
anybody have any questions about this? Does it answer your question, Gigi?
Yeah, I think it actually gives me some clarity.
Yeah. So your
Thank you.
model is film a ton of value content videos. And at
Mhm.
the end of the video, you have 2 calls to action. You're going to alternate between them or however you want to go back and forth. Okay?
Yep.
How do I stop my share? There we go. You have 2 courses of action. A customer or a prospect, I should say, is either going to, like and follow your page. So you say, if you love this content, just give us a like, give us a follow, or share this with a friend. Right? Something really subtle.
Right.
Or a call to action is, hey, we're doing this masterclass. It's running this particular time frame, right? If you'd love to join, we've got it at 75% off what it's going to be. Check it out here.
Yeah.
And it's basically the typical rule that we use in marketing. For every 6 videos that you make, one of those videos asks for them to go to the masterclass. The other 5 all ask for like this post, share this post, follow my page, share with a friend. One of those more subtle options. But this was actually a really important question, Gigi. That's why I spent some time unpacking it, because a lot of us get trapped in not knowing how to set up the logistical details, and we're not sure like what does this visually look like? How does this map out? Right?
Mhm. Yeah. So now I get to figure out how to do a landing page.
Yeah. So there's lots of, as I said, you go to YouTube, if you type in go high level funnel pages, you'll have acres and acres of help there because it's the same software. But other than that, you can, if you really want somebody else to do it too, Gigi, our team does landing pages. We would just do a one-off for you as landing page, and you can always ask us about how to get that done.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So let's go to Kat. Why don't we go to Kat? Kat, you can tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then state your challenge.
Okay. Well, I have 2 businesses. I have a very successful dog walking and pet sitting company in Fort McMurray. Um, that one is flourishing so much so that I turn clients away. Anyway, I also have another business with a product that he already mentioned, which is a topical gel that helps people with pain relief and 1,000 other things. And that's what I'm going to be getting help with for that one, is marketing that. My challenge is, I guess I haven't started. I'm going to be using a professional page to start marketing this and whatever videos we make. I don't know yet. Um, and I think we're going to focus on the pain relief portion of the gel. And it's just about what other kind of I want to have more content within that page other than just my videos. So that page that I've been using for the last 5 years has been an entrepreneurship motivation for network marketing, motivation for being an entrepreneur. So I'm just looking for other content pieces that I can put in there to um to keep it keep people engaged. Do I just concentrate on if all my videos are on pain relief and what this magic gel can do, then what other kind of content pieces can I put in there?
Love it.
Yeah.
Some variety. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So let's throw Kat some ideas. What else could she post, you guys? Dorinka's got tons of them. Go to her page. She's got
Yeah, I should go to your
reams of
page.
cool stuff. What other thoughts, everybody? What else could Kat post? Cat post. That's funny too. I did it again. Poll questions are good, Kat.
Huh? Sorry?
Like poll questions,
Poll
right?
questions?
So if you get and once your audience gets used to engaging, poll questions are great.
What do you mean? Like, what do you think?
So like simple stuff like if you could relieve pain from one area of your body, which area would it be? Right?
Oh, okay.
Or if something along the lines of if you were pain free, what would be your favorite sport to go play? And you give 5 different.
Oh.
What other ideas could we throw Kat's way?
I mean, I'm just thinking depends on like asking what sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Um if sorry, it just went out of my mind. I apologize.
Okay.
Okay. I've only been at this for less than 24 hours here, so when the next time we get together, I'll probably have more idea of what, you know.
So
Oh,
poll.
sorry. So it was kind of like if you have pain, like um sorry, my brain is not functioning today.
It's like
Um
the gel is a new technology that people can use to put on to replace big pharma drugs. So they don't, no Tylenols, no Advils, no whatever. You just put a gel on your body and it naturally activates your body's ability to heal pain.
Yeah.
So it's
Day in the
what
life
can I
stuff
go
is
with,
great,
like,
Kat. Like you posted that picture of you getting a new stock of supply.
oh yeah, when I did that, yeah.
Yeah. So day in the life shots are great. One of the things that you're going to see TYME do, and Drink is going to be our first victim of this. In fact, she doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be, is these little customer introductions. So you get a new customer and maybe you get a templated post, right? That you get little headshot from them and like a brand new customer and you list their name and there's a smiling picture of them kind of thing. So all of our TYME clients are going to get a post, right, that we start. And Drinka was our first Content to Cash Access Pass member. So she'll get one of those. And then Gigi, I think, was our second one. So she'll get one of these posts and they'll come out. I'll do one or two of these every week. So those are a great option, right?
What if I did that with team members, like new team members who
Team
joined?
members, new affiliates. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Any of those things. New customers, new team members, all of that works, right? And these are just ideas. Like you don't have to run with any of them. You can run with some of them, right? So
Hmm.
those are good. The just still graphics that list out a number of things that the product solves, right? Those are great. Client testimonials, you guys. Hugely valuable thing to post, right?
Yeah, I got
Here's,
hundreds of those.
here's one of the things that I don't want you to post. Okay. I mean, if you do one or two of these a week, I'm not going to come down the mountain on you, but never do this type of post and assume that it's going to help you get clients. Stop doing quote posts.
Quote, what do you mean?
Personal development is like bathing, right? You need to do it every day. Zig Ziglar or whoever that was, right? Stop that. I
I
will
do.
literally drive across, Michelle, if you do that, I am driving across the continent and kicking you in the shins. Okay. Like as I said, if you post one or two of those in a week amongst all the videos and all the other real valuable content you do, I'm never going to care. But if you think that posting that today and that's my post for the day is going to get you anywhere, seriously, I'm going to come pull your hair because that's just not good marketing.
Is it because it's overdone?
No, it just doesn't, pardon my language, it doesn't fucking do anything.
Oh,
Like you're just preaching to the choir. It's like I've said before to like most people have heard this. You haven't heard it yet, Kat, but it's like the priest standing there at the front of the church. They turn their ass to the congregation. They look at the choir and start doing their sermon that way. Those people are already sold, man. They bought a long time ago. So if you have a good following and it's already active and you're doing that to just put a little wood chips on the fire, great. But you're never going to start a fire that way.
So the thing I was trying to get out earlier was what causes pain, and and maybe talking more about, you said it's new technology and how that could relieve their pain.
okay.
Yep. All that stuff is cool. But anything day in the life, Cat, is great. And the one thing I want to add is personal touch stories are your gold mine.
Okay.
Be they written or be they video, your gold mine.
What if I did like a Facebook Live with someone who used it and it changed their life?
Yeah. But I wouldn't do a live. I would do
Because they go away.
well, two things. One, lives are more uncomfortable for the other person, so that can be trickier. But the real major reason is that they go away. They don't last very long on
Yeah.
Facebook anymore, right? If you were followed by 150,000 people or 1 million people, and when you go live, you're getting a live interactive audience, that's a different question.
Oh,
The live serves a different purpose. But when our followings are in the thousands or sometimes even less, really there's no reason to go live. You don't have any followers to watch you,
yeah.
right? I mean, that's just me being really blunt.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Kat's got
Okay.
a good variety of ideas there, Kat.
Yep.
Okay, awesome sauce. So let's jump over to then Miss Bente. Bente, what is a challenge that we can throw down on the table with you?
It is to remove what some doctors told me some 40 years ago, that my head doesn't function.
Well, you're
And
smiling, you're
whenever,
breathing, you're talking right now, so your head functions just fine from what I can see.
and when I concentrate too much, it burns, and then I need to laugh a lot to open it up again, which I do. But
Okay.
honestly, I'm trying I to rinse my head of that understanding. But I don't know. Two doctors told me that due to a traffic accident, my head wouldn't concentrate, and to learn new stuff, it wasn't good at that.
Hmm.
But to learn energized stuff is not new, because I had that from I was born. So
Okay.
it's the technique.
So you need us to give you some suggestions on how to get rid of that old mindset.
If you can, I'm totally grateful.
Okay. Well, any ideas there, ladies?
I know one thing I learned is when you're in a bad mindset for stuff like that and it's kind of like bugging you and that's all you're thinking about, if you could stop and write a gratitude list about things that make you
Mm.
feel happy and things that make you feel good, and read it to yourself and feel it in your heart and smile, it'll help bury that other part that's bothering you. Gratitude lists are very, very powerful for that kind of stuff.
Yes. I've of course used auto suggestions, which hasn't helped. I have used welcome to the feeling, and say, I thank you for all you have taught me, and now you can take vacation, which
Mm.
has helped me with all kinds of anger and irritation after my ex phoned me and said he would divorce me. Um, but so then it it's stuck somewhere. And I've checked my little toe and my big toe. It's not there. So, but actually, I will absolutely do what you propose. Thank you so much.
Any other ideas, you guys?
The problem, I think, with those kinds of things is it's once someone tells you something like that, it gets into your subconscious programming. And so it's kind of always there. And so you
Hmm.
need to rewrite that subconscious programming. And the best way to do that, I find, because I've got some weeds for some stuff that happened to me with my business too, um, is to like say affirmations opposite of what they said. I am this, I am amazing, I am, you know what I mean? And start rewrite that subconscious programming because if it's running in the background, it'll just keep running unless you rewrite it. And it takes a bit of work. But
I've also written it down and burnt the paper.
there you go.
So I think there's another part to this too that we often overlook. And um, it's that sometimes we just have to accept who we are, and that doesn't limit us.
Hmm.
So, do you guys know the story of Tony Melendez? So, Tony Melendez was born without arms. Okay, now drink is like, oh, okay, yes. Okay, but he absolutely loved music. Okay, this man, I think he's still with us. I remember watching him as a kid on late night talk shows and stuff like this. And I couldn't remember his name, so I just quickly looked it up. But Tony Melendez is a brilliant and beautiful guitar player,
What?
gorgeous Spanish guitar player, but he plays with his feet. So, Bente,
Yeah.
my point is that who cares about brain fog or some challenges when you concentrate? If you want to achieve what you want to achieve, asking for you to be a different person is unfair. You are beautiful and brilliant exactly the way you are. And maybe you just got to learn to play guitar with your feet. In other words, you've got to learn to build your business and grow and do what you're going to do with the fuzzy brains shit that shows up sometimes, with sometimes the pain that shows up. I've got to sit here and I've got to relearn how to speak and talk after my surgery and all of the radiation therapy and everything else because it hurts like hell sometimes to do those things. And my muscles don't move the same way. But guess what? I'm going to sound a little bit different. I'm going to look a little bit stranger sometimes when I talk now. But the fact is, I still need to talk in order to help you. So sometimes I think we just have to accept, not wish that we were someone different, just accept who we are and not care that that limitation changes the way we have to solve the problem. So my suggestion to you, beautiful woman, is just go ahead and serve and make those videos and post them and help people and share your stories, right? Regardless of what doctors told you, regardless of those other things. My mom had a stroke back in 2021. And it wasn't until the last year or so that she has stopped crying herself to sleep most nights, wishing that she was the person she was before her stroke.
Mhm.
Didn't matter how many times I told her, right, that she was amazing and brilliant and I don't care. She had to finally accept the fact that she can be just as much as she wants to be. She can be every single bit the person that she wants to be today. She just has to navigate a slightly different path to get there than what she was doing 5 years ago because her brain has dead spots. Those spots will never regrow. So Tony Melendez was never going to play guitar with his hands. He didn't have them. So he had to learn to play guitar with his feet. So I would suggest to all of you, including you, Bente, is not be so worried sometimes about doing it the way that other people do it. You just got to do it the way you do it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I use that for anything else. I broke my back and I'm injured, and like everybody says, I couldn't do what you're doing, Bente. So
Yeah.
but just with those, when it, it, it stops me, um, and then I'm unconsciously I say, okay, they were right,
Yeah.
even
Well,
though
then,
I'm saying the opposite all the time.
so then don't let that, that's the part where you can't let that defeat you, right? Unconsciously, you have to say, doesn't matter. I have to
Mm.
either take a step forward or give myself a little rest and then start again.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Bent. I hope that was helpful.
and thank
Okay.
you so much.
This has been
I
a
may
good
listen to it. Yes.
this has been a good roundtable, you guys, but we got to hurry up a little bit. So, Darinka, real quick here, state your challenge. We'll get to it, and then we'll get to Michelle, and then we'll jump onto our education session.
Okay. Mine is a little different, but I
Hmm.
sort of have an idea for a solution, but I'm going to put it out there. So I've got a variety of products in my shop. Some move like crazy, and one that I thought would do really, really well is sitting there. And I think
Mm.
I expressed this sort. Any suggestions on, and I don't want to just clear it out and get rid of it. I still see the potential of this product, but it really is not moving. And we've invested quite a bit of money into it.
Okay, great. Any ideas, everybody?
Could you like put it on a different area at the front or something by the cash register and make signs and say this is great because of this, blah blah blah. Something
It's
like
sort
that.
of it is front and center already.
Oh, okay.
It is, yeah. Yeah. And so just I think you know a little bit of what I do, Kat, and it's just another variety of raw. It's
Oh, it's
better
a
than
raw food. Okay.
Yeah, it's better than freeze dried. It's gently cooked and yeah, it's expensive. So is freeze dried, but I don't, I think I just need to find the right way to attract the market that would see the benefit of this product. And I think that's my biggest challenge. What to say or do to say, hey, this is for you. You need to get it.
Hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, but moving things near the front counter, always a great idea. Make them visual. Perfect. What else? What other ideas? Right? Anybody else have any thoughts or ideas how to push a product?
Could you do videos on your Facebook about why that one is so great?
I have,
Hmm.
Videos on that?
I have, and I can do them again. And I guess the only other thing I can think of is just start giving samples out.
That's a good
Yep.
idea.
Sample it.
I know
The
people are fussy because I'm in the pet industry too.
Mhm.
About once a dog is used to food ABC, they don't generally want to switch, right? But I found in the last 10, anyway, lots of dogs are having allergies and issues with their store brand food because of poor nutrition or whatever. There's lots of reasons, but if that's something that's a higher quality, you could, kind of express that because there are animals that are having issues with this
For sure.
butter, shall we say.
The other thing too, Drinka, is those like we were talking about at the beginning today. Well, not the beginning, but when we talked a little bit about why Shanna's posts are getting the traction they're getting, right? And the new clients, because she's boosting those posts. Or well, we're boosting them for her. Right.
Oh,
So these value videos that Kat was mentioning there, if those are out there, you've already done them, or maybe you do a one or two new ones. Don't rely simply on the algorithm of people that remember the people that are following you, they're likely already clients. They've already decided what they're buying from your store. You might need new eyeballs that haven't bought from you before, that haven't decided what they're going to buy from you yet to see those things, right? And the other thing too, and this is really important for everybody to recognize, especially when you're in the product business, okay? Not every product is right for every market. So there are certain raw food products, for example, that will never work very well in the Abbotsford area where my pet store is, right? And they might not work up in the Caribou either, Drinka, because you just don't have enough of that type of client.
I'm going to have to agree there. That just, I can
Right.
always come back to it if somebody asks for
Correct.
it. Yeah.
But there are things that are going to sell from a boutique pet store in downtown Vancouver or downtown Toronto or downtown Calgary, where there's condo buildings full of Chihuahuas and Shih Tzus and Jack Russell Terriers and teacup Yorkies and Pomeranians that are just not going to sell in an area that has a bunch of labs, Dobies, Bernese Mountain Dogs, Standard Poodles, et cetera, et cetera.
Or Bernese.
Yeah.
Cost
You know what I mean?
of
Like that's just the law of reality. That's just what happens.
yes.
Does that help, Drinka?
Oh, well, that's why when you suggested the canine and the bulk options,
Mm-hmm.
people just thought, wow, finally,
Yep.
I have the market for that. And that's that. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes, no matter how much we really like a product or a service, there's just no market for it where we happen to be selling it.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Okay.
I always tell the story about on White Avenue in Edmonton, right? There was that pizza place that when you got out of the bar at 2 a.m.,
Funky pickle?
yeah,
I know, it's so great.
yeah. But the fact is the pizza was fine,
It
but
was
the
terrible, actually. But at 2 in the morning when you're
but at
drunk,
2 in the morning, and it didn't even matter that it was minus 25 outside, there was a lineup going down the block,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Because right market, fine product, but that just proves the point, right? Is you couldn't take Funky Pickle Pizza and put it in one of the yuppie neighborhoods of Edmonton, it would never sell. But you could put it on White Avenue when all those idiots from University of Alberta or whoever are dumping out of the bars, and they're going to buy that shit. They're
That
going to
was
buy.
me for like 5 years.
Yeah, well, dude, I
Just
probably saw you there. Okay,
Darinka,
Michelle, real quick.
oh, I had a suggestion for Darinka real quick.
Oh yeah.
We have our company does something called a surprise and delight bag.
Ooh.
So it's a whole bunch of products like for $30. You don't know what you're getting until you get it. So it's like a grab bag of years gone by. I don't know if you'd ever consider that, like maybe putting different foods in and having that, and people just buy that for whatever cost you would want to sell it for.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've done
Like,
that with my other business and people loved that. It was $10. I mean,
There you
but
go.
I would say it's a $20 value. And I'm like, everybody was buying them.
yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
suggestion.
Thank you.
Very smart.
Okay.
Michelle. Okay, so Michelle, real quick, in 15 seconds or less, tell us about your business, and then 30 seconds of state your challenge, please.
Right. My business, I'm in network marketing. I'm an independent consultant with Arbonne, which is botanically based health and wellness products. My challenge, when I wrote it down, I said that my challenge was doing more reach outs. But I kind of feel what my challenge, getting to the root of it, I think is setting boundaries with my family. I don't know if you saw my son come in like 3 times while I've been on my Zoom. He's been texting me. I hear the kids out there, and I feel like I have a lot of people I can contact. I just don't do it for whatever reason. Like I do the safe way. I send them an email, I send them a text, but I never pick up the phone. I don't do voice memos. I don't do that stuff. So I guess I need some suggestions on how to like set boundaries and actually
Love it.
do that work.
Love it. Michelle, I'm so proud of you for identifying the core root of something.
Thank you.
Love it. Perfect. Okay. What are some suggestions for Michelle? Yeah, Gigi's got her hand up. Go ahead, Gigi.
I would say, yeah, setting the boundary with the children. I didn't see what age the kids are, your kids are, but I found with my kids is that I could say, I need to go do this, and at this time, so I'm on the clock, like or whatever time it is, then we will do something. We'll do something that like they want to do. But until from this time to this time is my time to do work.
Yeah, no, my son, he's turning 21 next week.
Oh,
So they're old.
So I had an electrician come and I said, can you take care of this? And he didn't. So I
oh,
had to go answer the door. I had to show the guy upstairs. And he's saying, oh, here's what I want for my birthday. And he's texting all the things to me. I'm like, dude, like I shut my door. I think I just need to lock it next time.
mhm.
I don't know. And so
But,
like
A
it's
big
all
no trespassing sign, Michelle?
yeah,
and you just
yeah.
like with my husband, I always feel like I have to do stuff with the family and like make dinner and have to like, I mean, those are things, but he's always saying, oh, you're just in your office again. You're just I'm like, dude, like an empire doesn't happen overnight. And like with me sitting and watching Netflix with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out how to balance
Okay.
family
We'll
and
give you
then
some more.
I have a
We'll give you some more suggestions, Michelle. Remember, you
okay.
just yeah, you
Yeah.
As zipit.com. Here we go. We got more suggestions because all of these ladies are moms.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have a suggestion. So I have toddlers and a husband and two businesses, and I'm doing network marketing as well. Building an empire. We just haven't even launched our company yet. So the boundaries that I created with my family, now it's hard with my kids because they're three, they don't listen. But basically, for yours, what I would suggest is I think you need to express to them the importance of this empire building that you're doing. So if they're just looking at it like, I'm just doing something, but they don't find any value in it, they don't see the value in what you're doing, and you can see the value, you can see the vision of where this can go and what you can do with it. You need to express that to them and say, look, this work that I'm putting aside on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays or whatever your time aside that you set for your family, or sorry, not for your family, for your time to work is time that you're building for also for your future and their future. And what I said to my husband is, the work that I'm doing now for this other business is going to allow us to go on vacations every year whenever the heck we want. So you need to let me do it. So it's like kind of, maybe making sure they understand your vision and why it's important. And, in this industry, picking up the phone and it's a relationship building industry. You have to create those relationships with your customers. The emails, the texts, the reaching out don't mean anything, really. When you're reaching out to someone, should be with the express purpose of getting on the phone and explaining why Arbonne is so great. They make natural stuff. It's awesome. I get it. So I think that you need to set aside time for that, and then that would be my suggestion. Just
Love
expressing
it.
the value.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And anybody else have any suggestions for Michelle? Thanks, Kat.
Yeah, I would just say that I know for myself, I had to go even to where I would do the time blocking and I would also put my phone on silent. But I would let people know in advance, I'm not going to answer my phone during this time and not pick up that phone. And that was a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, Darinka, you wanted to add something?
Question, I know it's comforting to be at your desk. You've got everything all set up like I do, because this is my biggest challenge. I either have my husband, which he's not here today, but when I've watched the replays, I can see I'm not paying 100% attention because I listened to the whole replay and I'm like, where was my brain when I was sitting here? So I've already told him he needs to be doing whatever, an hour and a half. Go to a coffee place. So I've told him to go somewhere, but I've also got a dog because it's just like a kid, and he's just got to be somewhere else. Or can you go somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
An hour and a half.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I love that, Drinker. That was one of the things I was going to suggest too, Michelle, is sometimes a change of your environment establishes your professional time. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying like this 90-minute session here for Time to Thrives and like the office hours and some of those things, it's like I get it. You want to have that time isolated. We don't care about you having a kid walk into the screen. It doesn't make a difference to us. I know I understand it bothers you. But the sheer fact is that when you're going to talk to clients, when you're doing these things, maybe it's like, sorry guys, mom's got office time. She's leaving the house. Right? And that might not always be possible, but as Drinka put it, sometimes that change of environment, it shifts the relationship that you have with those people that are close to you. And they go, oh, mom's left. She's working, right? It's the one hindrance to the whole working from home or flex schedule thing is that, you know, now we have to be on work time. Like when my doors close behind me, everybody in my house knows, don't interrupt, right? My wife doesn't work at home. So when she's at work, she's at work. She doesn't have to worry about that. So those are some things I think that are great suggestions for you, Michelle, to put some boundaries up. But here's the one thing that I will tell you, okay? It ain't changing overnight. The habitual way in which especially your children and your spouse interact with you is a long-term evolutionary shift. And it's going to require an incredible amount of diligence on your half to keep demanding a different way of interacting there. And it's like I was saying the other day about that pain video that I did. You have to let go of the person that you were yesterday to become the verb person that you need to be to succeed. And not everybody's going to be comfortable with that. And there might be painful moments where people don't understand. Cool. Was that helpful, Michelle?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure you write some of those ideas down. Now, real quick, give each other a round of applause for an excellent little roundtable coaching session, you guys. That went on longer than I thought, but there was good stuff. Everybody get a good value out of that? Okay. So I'm going to ask that we go just 10 minutes long, if that's okay with everybody, so we can quickly touch on the subject that we need to touch on. We won't be able to do much of the work, but I just want to go 10 minutes into the storytelling process so that we grab that information, especially for Michelle, Kat, and Bente who've never seen this portion before. I just want you to be able to soak up this this learning opportunity. Does that work for everybody? Okay. So let me jump back over to my screen.
What is storytelling?
Okay, here we go. So, the single most important part of persuasion, which is what marketing is all about, is story-based. You've all heard this before. Facts tell, but stories sell, right? So the sheer truth of the matter is that nobody has ever been charmed or persuaded by you shouting facts at them. You've all been on the other side of that conversation. You walk into the car dealership and the person starts pitching you on all the different details about how that brand new Forerunner works. Do you care? No. Right? It's not until they illustrate how, valuable it's going to be for this tell the story about how it's going to take care of your family or these other things that you're going to start to get interested. So the fact is, marketing is simply the art of persuasion in business. That's what it is. And minds are changed through story. In fact, if you look back on your own life, my friends, Kat, you were not convinced of the power of that gel because of the facts on the side of the bottle, were you? No. It's the stories, the endless reams of testimonials about how it changed people's lives. Right? Dorinka was not convinced that raw food was the best way to go for dogs and cats. She was not convinced of it until the stories about how it changed those animals' lives and how they lived longer, better, happier, healthier, that she started to go, okay, well, why is that true? What are the facts? So when you want to grow your business, my friends, when you want to attract more leads, you have to tell more stories. Full stop. Okay. Now, there are 6 crucial stories that you need to have in your hip pocket at all times so that whenever somebody has a question about your company, whenever you want to share something, you have these 6 stories to be able to pull from and have a persuasion conversation, aka a marketing conversation about your company. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So what are these 6 stories? You need to have your company/brand story. You need to have your personal story. You need to have your product story, your employee story, or a team member story. And you need to have case studies or customer or that sort of like, this is what happened, scientific explanation. You only need 6. These 6 different specific stories all explain your business. By a show of thumbs up, does that make sense, everybody? These 6 stories. Okay. You don't need 12. You don't need 30. You don't need 60. Okay. You can have many more, but the fact is these 6 particular concepts are where every story is going to fall into. And as long as you make some decisions as to which story you're going to tell to illustrate those 6 stories, you'll be able to sell. You're at a networking event, right? Somebody asks about the product, you have a product story. Somebody says, do customers use this? You have a customer story or a case study. Always at your hip pocket. So as part of your homework, okay, over the next week or so, I want you to make sure, and I'll put these documents, you guys, into the chat. They will be in your back office of Access Pass as well. But I want you to I'll put these in the chat, print this off, and write down at least 3 different ideas for your company brand story, your personal story, your product story, your customer story, your employee story, your team story, and your case study. So you should have 18 ideas written down here. You don't have to flesh each one out. I just want you to brainstorm the 18 ideas. By show of thumbs up, everybody got that? Okay, good. These are critical to helping you in your social media marketing. Do you think being able to tell these types of stories can help you? Yeah, right? Huge. Okay, so let's get to the next stage of this, which is how to tell these stories. Because one of the things that I see is people start in on stories and we don't know why they're telling them. Okay? You've all experienced this, I'm sure. Somebody starts telling you a story and you immediately go, why are they talking? Why are they saying this? Why are they sharing a story? Have you guys all experienced those types of people? They start telling a story and your immediate impulse is like, I have no idea where this story is going. Why am I listening to this person? Right? Have you all experienced this before? I know I have many times. In fact, there's just certain people in my life that always tell stories this way. Does that make sense, you guys? Right? And one of the major reasons this happens is because twofold. One, they haven't given us a clarifying headline as to what the story is going to be about. We don't know why they're telling it, right? Like this, Bente, this was one of the things that I had said to you. People are going to love to listen to your stories, but they want to know why you're telling the story first. Because Drinka, what is the radio station that everybody is tuned into all the time?
Which radio station?
Yeah. Oh, you don't
I know that one.
Yeah. Okay, Kat, go ahead. What is it?
WIIFM. What's in it
WI.
for me?
That's right.
Oh,
Right? Everybody wants to know, why am I listening? What's in this for me? What's the payoff that I'm going to get for investing 3 or 4 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 seconds to listening to Michael ramble on? What am I going to get out of it? Because we all want to know what's in it for us. Right? So all stories break down into 5 timeless story arcs. That's it. The beauty is that there's only these 5. So every story you tell should be laced into one of these story arcs. So what are the story arcs? Conquering the monster. We all know this one. Okay. I'm going to use Star Wars, because I think we're all familiar, as my metaphor here. So the initial movie of Star Wars, episode number 4, right? That particular movie is a conquering the monster story. Because what happens at the end? Everybody remember what happens at the end? Luke's in the plane, Luke's in the fighter, fires the torpedoes. What happens? Big explosion. Anybody? They blow up the Death Star. How is anybody? How anybody knows?
Was that in the 4th one?
Yeah, that's episode number 4, right?
I remember it.
Gosh, I'm preaching to the wrong choir here, obviously.
No. I love Star Wars, but I thought that was in the.
Yeah,
They blew the Death Star on Endor. That wasn't in the 4th one. That was in number.
Yeah, they blow up another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, whatever. Yeah.
because George Lucas can't come up with original narrative. Yeah. So, but they conquer the monster. They blow up the Death Star. Right? It could also be viewed as kind of a quest, in fact. But the fact is conquering the monster stories, right, are often the stories where the hero is being chased, they're being threatened by this monster throughout the story, and they eventually have to defeat the monster at the end. Okay? So in Kat's case, if she's talking about pain, right, the pain could be the monster. Right? Every single day they have to get up and they have to face the fact that they can't move their ankles or their knees because there's so much inflammation in those joints. Every day they get up and they have to fight this. Every single day they have to deal with this. That's a conquering the monster story, the monster being the pain. Does this make sense, everybody? And so if I start my story off by saying something like every day they have to get up and face this monster, now you know, just as a listener, that you're in a conquering the monster story arc, and you know that I'm eventually going to take you to an end where this person does something to conquer this monster. Does this make sense, everybody? So when you share your stories, you should be sharing them in such a way that it matches these story arcs. Okay? Rags to riches is quite simply the hero has very little of something at the beginning of the story, and then they have a lot of it at the end. So Dorinka, rags to riches. My dog was ill, right? Was suffering from allergies all the time, had no energy whatsoever, was super lethargic, right? This dog was 4 years old. It was acting like it was 11. So what's the rags part? They have no vitality. By the end of your story, they're eating raw food. They have tons of vitality. Rags to riches. So you start a rags to riches story off by illustrating how little the hero of the story has of something. Right? Quest. Okay. A quest story is when we identify at the beginning of the story an accomplishment that the hero wants to achieve. Bente, a quest story would be building a coaching company that you're super proud of, right? And you've accomplished this achievement despite having brain injury, right? That could be the quest. Right? You overcome. Michelle, you build this brilliant Arbonne business, despite the fact that your kids keep interrupting you, right? No one's taking you seriously, and there's all of these different things standing in your way, right? So you start the story off by going, man, when I started my business, the door to my office was like a revolving Macy's entryway. Kids come in and out all the time. They absolutely never stopped. I get on the phone with a client and I was constantly interrupted, right? I'm framing why this wasn't working at the beginning and what I had to overcome to achieve my goal. So, as the listener, you always understand what the hero wants and the conflict style that the hero is running into. If we don't get that framework off the hop, it's hard as the viewer or the listener to buy into the story because I don't know what it's going, where it's going, sorry, I should say, or what it's about. In other words, why I should listen. Does this make sense, everyone? It's subtle, but it's so crucial. Okay. Voyage and return,
Yeah.
right? The concept here is Michelle. I went to this amazing event. Where was it in Vegas, Michelle? Where did you have to go? Was it Vegas? Yeah. So I went to Vegas, everybody. I discovered these amazing things. Let me show you what I found. I went somewhere and I've now come back, right? It can be also a journey in your mind, right? It could be Bente says, gosh, I was really, really struggling, you guys, but I poured into this Think and Grow Rich book and it's completely changed the way I see the world. Let me show you, right? Go somewhere, come back. And the rebirth story is about being a version of yourself, or the hero being a version of themselves, going through then a transformational experience to reborn as somebody new. Right? This one here, if we're using Star Wars again, I went away from that a little bit, but this is the second Star Wars movie, the first half of it, because Luke is, or the third one, I should say, because Luke has to go to Yoda. Right? He goes to the Dagobah system. The Dagobah system, the Dagobah system. He goes to the Dagobah system and he's on that swampy planet and he trains with Yoda. Luke is reborn as a Jedi Master. So the whole point, everyone, is to find a bunch of these stories, okay, that are company, personal, product, customer, employee, or team, and case study stories. Take those and then use these story arc frameworks to clarify how those stories are going to work, and then tell them over and over and over again. Tell them 30-second versions, tell 60-second versions, tell 20-minute versions. Story never changes. You just add detail.
And these are the type of things you do in the videos?
You bet.
Mm.
You bet. So any questions about these? Does this make sense now on how powerful this can be? Right? Very potent way of marketing and building trust with your company, right? Now, I'm sure you've already got some ideas as to how this could work, how this could roll, and those would rumble along. But any questions real quick about the learning stuff we did here at the end before we run through our signing off process? No, was that good? Any questions? Oh, you okay there, Michelle? Bless you. Okay. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for sticking around for 15 minutes extra with me here. Just real quick, did everybody get good value out of today?
Yes.
Yeah, good, good, good. So Kat, real quick, this was your first time to Thrive. How was it for you? And did you have any aha or eureka moments today that you can share?
I loved it, and I'm excited for what this is going to do for my business. And I think the story thing that you just did gave me a really solid idea on how powerful these videos are going to be, because I can tie in so many stories on what this gel could do for people. So
Hmm.
that's going to be powerful. One question I do have is, within your group, do you have people follow each other's pages so that you could see what other people are doing to help get ideas? Do you guys all follow each other
By
in a
all means, go
community
right
to
ahead.
help?
Yeah. Yep.
Because I would like to follow whatever you guys are all doing so I could see, oh, okay, it'll just give me ideas, right?
Hmm.
Especially Michelle, just so we're in the same industry too.
Yeah.
Might
Well,
help.
and so be sure to drop your Facebook business pages into that Facebook Messenger group, you guys, so we can follow
Yeah,
each.
if you wouldn't mind, I'll follow y'all and look at what you're doing.
That really helps.
I've been in
Perfect.
this less than 24 hours, so
Perfect, Kat.
Well, I
There you
just
go.
created my Facebook business page yesterday, so nothing is on there. So
okay, so we're starting
We
together
can
at the
we
same
can
pole
all be your
then.
first
Great.
followers, Michelle.
That's true.
yay.
Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you, Kat, and thanks for being here. You did great today. You did great. Okay, what else? Let's get an aha or eureka moment from everybody before we sign off here. So who wants to go next? What was something that popped out of today's session that you absolutely loved? And it could be from the beginning, from working through KPIs and anything that came out of there, or the weeds and challenges portion, or this last section on storytelling. What popped out?
The importance of storytelling.
Hmm. Yep, absolutely. And Bente, you're a great storyteller. We just need to help you put your stories into those frameworks so that the
Yeah.
listener understands why you're telling it, right? Or else they'll go, "I'm not sure," right? Okay, thanks so much, Michelle. Okay, Gigi, how about you? What popped out today for you?
I appreciated the storytelling stuff as well. And I remember last time when you had talked about it, I was like, oh yeah. And and then I let it go. And now I'm like, oh yeah. I need a great reminder. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing some more of those stories then, Gigi. Okay, and Drinka, how about yourself? What was a big aha moment for Drinka or eureka moment for Drinka today?
Honestly, you just saying maybe I just don't have the market for that product. I'm trying to wrap my head around. I think that's the getting out the samples, fine and dandy, but I have other products that give samples out and I sell that product left, right, and center.
Mhm.
I already knew I had a demand for it, sorry. But yeah, this one I think I have to accept it as a mistake and maybe sell it at cost just so we can move it.
Yep.
And then just say this is just not something for our area at this point in time.
Or be open to the fact that if you sell it at cost and sample it out just to move on, if 2 weeks or 3 weeks now somebody comes back and says, "Hey, I really would like that product," right? Maybe it just needed the right type of push. So you need to be open to both sides of the possibility. It may never sell the way you wanted it to, right?
Mhm.
But the fact is once I've promoted something and sampled it out because I didn't think it was going to work, suddenly people liked it and they came back for it. But it is one of those things where, as in retail especially, but this is also the case in the services business, right? You have to choose the right ideal client for what you have available. And geography limits you. That's just the truth, right? So, there's no point in putting a high-end minimum $10,000 wedding ring jewelry store in Prince George, right? There's no point. There's just not enough population that's going to be spending that type of money to make that business survive. That's just the truth of it. There's just not enough volume of people that are going to walk in and spend $15,000, $25,000 on a wedding ring in that area, right? And it's not an indictment. There's just not enough population that has that level of cash in that specific spot, right? So we just have to sometimes realize what's true.
Perfect. Thank you.
Love it. Okay, awesome, everybody. Now, quick things. We are opening up an affiliate element to this particular program. So we talked about it a little bit earlier in the week. I'll formally present that later on. But essentially, it's going to be $100 for any new Access Pass member that joins. I'll pay you 100 US for any Access Pass member that joins. And there'll be some parameters around that. And then there's a $250 finder's fee for any VIP client that joins. So if anybody wants that, as I said, I'll formally put that out once I've got it organized a little bit more concretely. But I said that I was going to do an affiliate thing because everybody or a bunch of people were interested in that. So I will make sure that gets out there. And then next week is office hours on Thursday. So that is the 1 hour kind of free for all where we dive in. Gigi, if there is, or anybody, if there's one of these biweekly Zoom calls that is less important, it's definitely office hours. So you missing last week was not such a big deal because it's just kind of freelancing. It's the time to thrive where it's organized and we're holding each other accountable and helping one another grow. That's the one that you really want to try and maintain.
But how does office hours work? It's like a meeting like this, or you just,
Yeah.
but you're doing work, or
No, I literally go, okay, it's open questions. So who has somebody have something they're running into in their marketing with Hourglass,
oh, okay.
any of those types of things, and it's just a free for all. So if there was a less important Zoom call on our schedule, it's definitely the office hours one.
Okay, so you do office hours once a week or every other week, and then this every other week. So okay, okay. I did set aside a time every Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, totally.
Cool.
Okay, perfect, everybody. Well, I'm gonna love you and leave you. We gotta rock and roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Ciao, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.